put together a really spectacular season in my opinion. Team with a lot of athletes. They don't give up. They don't roll over at all. They play hard for all 4 quarters, which is something that we have to respect, and we have to match their intensity. So I mean, they had big wins over the course of the season.
Winnacunnet is a very dangerous team. They've got 6 offensive guys. They're similar to us, where all those guys they put out there in the offensive end are capable of scoring. They've got good athletes. They play tough defense. Their goalie's getting better and better. He's a lefty. That's always something we've got to account for. And as we've talked about throughout the season, there are a group of kids that are winners in other sports, and they just believe that they're going to go out there tomorrow and beat Derryfield, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure they don't.
But we just definitely have to cash in on those opportunities that we have, because in a zone, like, you'll be in a 2-minute possession, you might not score, versus if you can get a quick one off a fast break or something. I think that's kind of what we're trying to do, just not really change anything about our identity and whatnot going into the game, but understanding that they're going to slow down the game with that zone and just trying to break it down.
Our zone plays are at their peak right now. We've gone through them so many times now. I feel like we've only been working on zone. So I feel like we could easily get them out of the zone. I don't think it matters at this point whether they play man or zone, because we're so prepared for what's to come.
I think taking a step back away from the fundamentals, I think that they've found a great way to utilize momentum. So when they start getting momentum going for themselves, they know how to get all their guys amped and ready and excited to keep going and get that next play. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing that we have to keep down tomorrow.
In my opinion, we got to really move the ball well on offense, and then if they're really locking it down on defense, ball might be transitioning a lot more to our defensive end, so we got to be careful of possession time, be careful of if our defense is getting worn out.
We'll definitely need to take advantage of it in a game like this. Championship game, you got to take what you can get, because nothing is ever going to go 100% to plan. So if we can get transition goals, that would be phenomenal.
I think they just got 6 solid guys. There's not one that, say, stands out like necessarily Nick Mason did yesterday, but they have 6 solid guys that'll move the ball around. They usually run an open set where they'll pass and pick, just trying to get mismatches on defenders. So as long as we're talking the entire time, which we've been doing the last 3 weeks, which has been great, I think we'll be good on defense.
I think everybody has to be really aware off ball. They distribute the ball well. I do think that we play really good team defense, and as long as we're all focused on helping out. If my guy doesn't have the ball, my job isn't done yet. I need to get in and help. We'll be in good shape on the defensive end. I think if we're aggressive and patient, I know that's kind of a dichotomy there, but at the same, we have to be aggressive, expect them to pressure us, but at the same time, be smart and patient with the ball, and I think things will open up. I expect that we'll be able to generate good shots tomorrow if we're patient and if we're unselfish.
We've been in this moment. This is going to be our 4th time in the championship game, so we really know what our personal routines are, how we go through the game, like how the game progresses. But for younger guys who haven't necessarily been in this position, they really need to, and it's our responsibility as seniors and captains to get them hyped up for the game, get hyped to play, get ready, stay mentally in it, be physically ready. So I think the physical part we've trained all season long for this game right here. So we should be good in that facet, but the mental part is super important as well.
I think they're expecting to win. I think they're confident. I think they know what they need to do. I don't think they're cocky. I think they're just well prepared, and I think they're ready to go out on the field. And if the game's close, then they'll find a way. If they play well and they can turn it into a blowout, then they'll do that too. But I think it's a group that is very confident in what they need to do in order to win this game, and I expect them to go out and execute.
I'm kind of nostalgic going back there for 3 years. I don't know, I'm going to be a little bit nervous, but just got to play my heart out. It's the last game I'll ever play for Derryfield Cougars, so it's kind of crazy to think about.
I think that ultimately it will be the last game I ever play in high school, but that's not something I want to think about till the end of the game, until after the game. I just want to focus on the game for right now.
school's actually pretty quick with our commencement ceremony. They make sure that's not too long-winded or anything like that. So we didn't have too long to wait, but it was a stir of emotions of a day. You know, you're excited, nervous about graduation, and you're also excited, nervous, and perhaps even a little bit upset that this might be your last game about lacrosse. So it's hard to keep your mind in one place for sure on a day like that.
Photos with the class and then sat under a tent for like an hour and a half. But we weren't rushed through anything. It just kind of sitting there, listening to people talk and anticipating, you know, hearing your name and your friend's name, and then also thinking about the game and what you can do to prepare and how to hydrate and trying to stretch in a suit, sitting down. So, but it was really fun, and I think all the guys enjoyed it.
The whole day was just kind of like, even after this cool thing gets done, there's another cool thing to come. So after graduation, it was lacrosse. After lacrosse, you know, there was different graduation parties and stuff. So it's like there was always something to look forward to that day. But it was really exciting, like, you know, graduating and then being like having to pull it back to the reality of the situation. We have a championship to play, time to focus
I
on.
already had my adrenaline going into graduation, and then just continued over into the game. So happy that I graduated, and then I was really happy that I got to play.
I was just kind of zoning out a lot of the time. My teachers that were watching me said that I looked like I was gonna kill someone because there's just the look on my face. I'm like, I'm just focused on the game. I'm just trying to relax right now and get in the zone. So, yeah, I mean, graduation was a great
I
time.
mean, everyone else was going to grad parties and whatnot after the actual graduation ceremony, and all the boys were sitting there drinking our waters and you know, just hydrating up for the game. And I took some pictures, and I went home and took a nap for a little bit. I was pretty tired after the ceremony. I had a bunch of family over. I don't know, guys hung out around Manchester, just rested, got ready to take the bus over to Exeter.
So when we got there, we chilled out, watched some of the D3 game, and we were all relaxed. Like, it was more relaxing, I think, than even the semifinal game. Like, the things that were running through my head all the entire time that we were there and leading up to it that day was just stay relaxed. Like, you've been here before, you know what you're doing.
It was like we had been there before, we've done it, felt like coming home. You know, we had an opportunity, we kind of had a timeline set up where we were going to get there, we were going to watch the first half, but kind of depended on the weather. You know, we didn't want to sit out in the hot sun too long. In the semifinal game, we really wanted to come and watch, you know, our future opponent. In this one, it was kind of whatever was going to make us feel most comfortable getting in there. We knew we couldn't get in the locker room till halftime, so we took our time getting over there. And then, yeah, you know, once halftime hit, we were able to get in the locker room, took our time, went over the game plan, and then went out on the side, stretched where we normally do in the grass on the side there, able to do line drills so that when we hit the field, we, you know, whatever time they gave us, we were ready to get into our shooting drills and live stuff right away. So, you know, the guys were used to the routine, and that is a nice benefit of having been there before, you know, feeling comfortable with the different times. coming into the game, I was looking for three things to key on. I was looking at how we were going to do in the face-off circle, and Connor did fine on the opening draw, and I liked the way our wings were, the way it looked there, so I wasn't real particularly worried about getting possessions. I wanted to see how we matched up with them on defense, and I thought we did a tremendous job there. We were causing turnovers. It looked like they were a little bit nervous at first too, and their sticks were a little bit tight, so I felt good defensively. Avery looked really solid. And then I wanted to see, how were we attacking the zone? Were we stagnant? Were we going to get good looks? And I was very happy with the first quarter. Even though it was tied 0-0, I felt like we were generating the kind of looks that we wanted to, and we were getting good long possessions. We weren't stagnant. So, coming out of the first quarter, we kind of saw Winnacunnet felt, they were kind of fired up that it was still tied 0-0, but I could see in my guys that we were like, we're good. We know where we want to be, and we just need to keep having faith in the system and what we had put in place in practice.
Me, Max, and Avery all had a conversation after the first quarter, and we just said, like, look, we are not done. We still have work to do, and we're going to lock it down on defense, and we ended up essentially holding them scoreless until they made a play in the final, 2 minutes or close to there, but...
There's two things. One, I thought we were going in the right direction. I thought we were starting to break down their zone, and we had some great shots that just some missed wide or goalie made a save. So I know if we could clean up on that a little bit, we'd be fine. And then, but I was also thinking that their crowd and whatnot were getting a little rowdy into the latter half of the first quarter. So it was kind of whoever got the first punch, the momentum was going to be with you for a little while. So I wanted to make sure that we were, and then we did, and then we were able to carry that for basically the rest of the game.
To me, that was actually like the fun part of the game. I personally, I liked the game when it was closer. I feel like it pushed our team to play better, and pushed the other team to respond to that as well. So there was like a lot of good trade-offs and play back and forth between the two teams. As for the scoreline, by the end of the first quarter, I wasn't worried. I saw the way our team was playing, and it's like we weren't playing bad. It's just at the time Winnacunnet was keeping up with us. They were giving us a real good fight, so I think that's why the scoreline reflected the way it did. But I had confidence that if we just continued playing the way we could play, and for the entire game, that we'd come out on top.
So we just really got into the game. I don't know. Again, with the nerves, I think people were a little bit nervous and had the adrenaline going. Shots weren't placed where we needed them to be placed. We just basically needed to get one to drop, and I think once we get one to go, then we're fine.
Yeah, it just, the feeling for me at least was once we break it open, we're gonna be able to pour in a bunch of goals. It was just getting that first one, trying to figure out what worked. We were running all sorts of different offensive sets, different schemes, different plays, and Winnacunnet sits in a very solid zone. They have good athletes, guys who play multiple sports. They play zone in different sports. They know the core concepts. So it was tough to break for all those reasons, but once we did, we broke it open.
We knew that we were going to be working hard on defense and kind of giving everything we got each possession they had. So when the offense got it, thankfully they slowed it down and were able to possess it and give the defense a break.
Top side. Pass and cross. One man.
I was just trying to get shots on the goal, try and get something in the net. But the lefty goalie was pretty tough. I saw that I caught it. Wasn't really looking. I was looking through my peripheral area at the goal. Saw that he was not really paying all that much attention to me. I just stepped in, kind of put it on the left side of the goal, away from him.
I feel like once he hit that shot, everybody just calmed down and knew it's just like any other game. I was not expecting him to take that shot, to be completely honest, and I kind of cringed once he took it because it was so far out, but he can rip the ball, and he did what he needed to do in that moment.
And it was off a rotation that we had practiced during the week, and John had stepped into a scene where we felt he would be comfortable, and we had scouted the goalie, and John shot where we thought it might be effective. And not everybody on our team could hit that shot, but that was a good one for John, and it did. It kind of felt like a weight had been lifted, and it's like, okay, now we know we can generate good shots, and they're going to start to fall. And then 20 seconds later, Gunnar catches it, hitches his guy, gets around, and gets a great shot. And then when it became 2-0, it was really like, okay, now we're rolling. And it felt like a 2-3 goal lead was going to be huge in this game.
For me, I knew that as soon as we got hot that we were going to be going. So after the second goal, I called game. I said that we scored twice within 15 seconds, and their defense looked incredibly defeated right after that. So I knew that once we had that 2-goal lead, that we had it broken open.
physically taxing game because we were playing in the zone offense and we were taking such long offensive possessions, like you said. We got to halftime and I was like, wow, like I feel like I played half of a quarter of lacrosse right now. Like we got up and down the field quickly, fast, and we played loose, played hard. But being able to recover just physically in the offensive set, like that was something I think that proved to be beneficial.
I think it was just the way Winnacunnet plays, their offense, the way that they set up. We played really well against it. I don't know why it's is that way, but whenever we practice against it in practice or even when we played in the game, we always play well against that kind of two-man game on the side kind of look that they put up. So that was good.
We said that, I think around halftime, we said, look, if you have a turnover on offense, just get back in the hole, right? If they have the ball, don't worry about trying to go get it and hit their stick, get back in the hole so we can stop their break, because we knew that was the only way they were really going to score on us.
we knew if we ran the plays and we got the zone moving and we got everything that we needed to do, we were going to score. And there have been points in the season where we haven't done that. We've tried to push things, but we were very smart about how we were playing on Saturday. So I think that really helped us out in that game. And it goes back to being relaxed as well, that we were all relaxed and know that if we just run the offense and we run the plays and we have the motion, we'll be able to break down the zone.
I think that specifically with the guys that were on the field on my end, it's just we're used to it. We've been here three times before, so we were ready for when the bell rings to go off and do what we have to do. So I think that everyone was just ready, even though it took us a quarter to really start getting things going. I think everyone needed that little bit of a grace period to just get ready.
So confident with how we were playing with a 4-goal lead with our team after getting our offense going and Connor doing a phenomenal job in face-offs. We were very confident in our play, and I think just through being able to move the ball around with comfort and not having the stress of, oh, we need to score right here, right now, is just a big thing. So I felt great once we had the 4-goal lead.
I mean, 4-0, I was feeling comfortable, but then when we went into the fourth quarter up 6-0, they said, guys, we've played 3 quarters where they haven't scored a goal, as long as we don't give up transition and we stay out of the penalty box, we're going to be in really good shape. You know, control the possessions. If they want to stay in the zone, then we'll get long possessions and keep attacking, but like just don't force anything. Don't turn the ball over and give them any transition, and we should be in really good shape.
I knew it was too good to be true. I knew that. I thought that we could have had the shutout, but you know the fact that we didn't, it's not gonna. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We still won the championship, and whether it's winning by 1 or 2 goals, thankfully we won by 8. But it doesn't matter as long as we're winning. So, you know, it sucks getting scored on, but it's not gonna ruin my. It definitely did not ruin my day.
I remember we had talked in the beginning of the year, and I said this was probably, you know, the mark of this team this year was going to be a team that had a really strong defense, and at times, you know, early in the season we relied on that defense to gut out some games, and I think it is a really fitting way to end that season for these guys, to showcase the incredible defense that we were able to put out there with Avery and Net and Max and Alex and Jacob and Will Hadley and all of our middies who played so well throughout the season. They really just bought into, okay, maybe we're not going to win every game by 10 goals. We've got to buckle down and just play really good D and do a good job facing off. And again, it doesn't matter if we win close games. We want to be the last one standing.
They went out on top. They played their best game of the season by far. They were just able to lock down, and all the shots that were taken, basically, except for that one, were just slow and, I don't know, stick side, forcing them to shoot, taking bad angles. So they did a great job.
From a defensive standpoint, it's awesome, and it makes us look really good, and we know that we had one of the best defenses in the state.
In the fourth quarter, the way things were unfolding, it was an opportunity to kind of sit back and really just look around, see the kids on the field, and really just it was nice one last time to see the guys out there running and really be able to enjoy the moment and not have to yell and scream the whole time and worry about the game possibly slipping away.
To the Winnacunnet Warriors, 7, company.
So for 1 or 2 guys, 1 or 2 guys, 30 year, I'm not actually on this.
Consciously making myself after the final horn went off look around and see the crowd and the smiles and the parents and you know, I took my time getting out on the field to celebrate with the kids because I really wanted to see all of them and how they react on the field. It was really neat. It was really nice, and something that in other games I haven't necessarily been able to do, because they have been closer, and you just get caught up in the moment and things go crazy. So that was a really nice part of the way the game unfolded.
Sure, like I know we won, but I don't know. It just hasn't registered that, like, how much of a privilege it's been to be on a team like this, where we can go 4 for 4, where we can only lose 2 games and only by 1 goal each. You know, there's not a lot of people that can say that, and it's just an honor to be able to say that.
It's something special. It's a lot of hard work over the 4 years, a lot of dedication from all the guys in the off season, a lot of dedication from Hetler. I mean, guys play lacrosse all year round. They live for games like these every year. For the past 4 years, we found ourselves in this game, and we found out how to get it done every year, which is something to be said about the work ethic of all these guys and Hetler and all of our assistant coaches. So it's a super special era that we are in. Wouldn't trade it for the world, so it was an awesome experience.
It's just an unreal feeling. It doesn't feel like it's over right now. I don't know. I just love playing with this team, and the way all 4 teams I played on have played throughout the years was just great, and was an awesome experience, and just makes me happy when I talk about it. It's like a brotherhood.
It didn't really set in at first. I was just, because it had been a long month leading up to the championship, both in lacrosse and out of lacrosse, like with school wrapping up everything. So I was just trying to soak in the moments.
The championship medals. Number 1, Carl Cacovier. Number 2, Jonathan. Number 3, Aiden Truex. Number 4, Alex Neville. Number 5, John Anderson. Number 7, Ryan Caparelli. Number 8, Andy Warren. Number 9, Cam Bishop. Number 10, Blaine Burns. Number 11, John McLean. Number 13, Max Portman. Number 14, David Shulman.
I think an important part about like the playoffs and the mentality that our team has is just the timing of it all. Throughout the regular season, we all have other assignments to work on for school, other extracurriculars, and a lot of things to worry about that kind of like play. As much as we don't want to say that our outdoor lives or outside lives will play into how we play on the field, I'm sure it is the case. But the timing of the playoffs just being after our school ends, for the most part, it just helps the boys stay focused the entire time we're at practice, and it's just knowing that, at least for the seniors, that every game you play from here on out could be the last lacrosse team or last lacrosse game that you play on this team. It just drives you to be your best and to keep striving and work harder.
I mean, it was awesome. You know, we have most of the starters and most of the players who are actually getting in those games had been in that position before. So we had experienced guys. We love to play it on that field, and we love to play it when the lights are bright and when everybody's cheering. So we've experienced that, and we know how to react in situations. We know that 1 goal scored on us is not the end of the world.
I think it's not just like a physical devotion to the team in the game, but an emotional devotion. I think that everyone knew that, all right, this is playoffs. It's time to stop screwing around and take things seriously. It's time to know the plays, time to execute on defense, and to do what we know how to do. So I think that the second playoffs came, there was a total kind of mood change. With not necessarily mood change, but just like it was much more intense, and everyone knew that like what they had to do.
You have a championship at stake, so seniors started playing pretty inspired lacrosse, and then all the guys started playing for the seniors, and you just get that dynamic going all the way through playoffs, and you guys playing a different style of lacrosse, playing harder, faster, because maybe, I mean, an in-season game, regular season doesn't mean as much as a playoff game like versus Goffstown in the semifinals. So I think you just got a different energy level from a lot of these guys, maybe different preparation. They weren't in school. Like, school at Derryfield's pretty taxing, I know. Even without playing a sport in the afternoon, I'm pretty wiped after a day. So having the underclassmen balance those things for the whole season was pretty tough to come out there and play as hard as you can when you know you got to do it all again the next day.
I don't really know, but there was a different energy about practice that we were, like, the defense was communicating just a little bit more, the offense, the passes were clicking just a little bit more. It's just like everyone ramped the game up, which is exactly what you want to do. So we just were all collectively feeling it and just enjoying it, and knowing that, especially the seniors, knowing that we only have at most three more games left, trying to make the most of that time.
The kids, you know, it's funny. Last year, I felt like maybe we were really tired at the end of the season, and guys were just burnt out. I felt like these guys got stronger. Like, they did hit a point where they were tired, but then we were able to. I think the long break in between our last game and the quarterfinal really helped. We were able to slow things down at practice. We were able to get some kids some extra rest. They got to bed. Finals happened to be a little bit earlier this year. I think it was a matter of all of a sudden they just got re-energized again. School was over, and they were able to play really well together. And I think, you know, it just took a little while all season for guys to step into new roles and build some chemistry in the offensive end. I knew the core 5 seniors there they were going to find a way to win, but the win in the way that they did was really impressive to me. I mean, I wasn't crazy about our draw when the seedings came out. You know, I said, okay, great, we're going to play St. Thomas again for the 4th time in 5 years, and Sean's a tremendous coach. And, you know, for us to play and win the way we did in that game, I said, wow, maybe we've got something here. And then to see how well that Goffstown had been playing, they dismantle Hollis. They come in and they have a great game. You know, in their quarterfinal before that. I did not expect us to play that well. There were coaches that came up afterward and said, Chris, that was just an incredible performance by your offense. You just surgically picked them apart. And they really did. The kids couldn't have played much better than they did. And then finally, as we talked about, the way the defense played in that last game, it's everything that I knew they were capable of. So it was very gratifying to see them put it all together like that.
It doesn't. I mean, I know it's awesome for the seniors and the team. It kind of just feels the same. Like, in 3 months, I'll be going back into the dirt parking lot and walking in. But I'll be up in Maine, and John will be in Providence. Avery will be Connecticut. All the guys will be spread out. So that's going to be tough to get through. But as of right now, we're all just celebrating and still, you know, cherishing our time together while we're still in New Hampshire.
For me, at least, I've come to the school every day since we got out for some reason or another. So, you know, I still haven't got that space from Derryfield yet. But I think that once I start getting that space and having time away from here, that's when it'll start clicking with me.
It really is special. I mean, I can't really describe it. I really do feel like I'm a spoiled lacrosse player in the sense that I don't know what it is to lose, but I think that just speaks volumes to what this program is and what we've tried to accomplish, and that everything that Hetler and the boys stand for. It's just excellence. And I think it'll be a really cool thing to tell people, both in college and just later in life, yeah, my lacrosse team, all 4 years, my freshman through senior year, we won the state championship every year. And I think that's just something not a lot of people get to say, and it's really special to us, and I think we'll cherish that moment forever.
Yeah, I mean those 4 years went by so fast, but I mean I'm ready to move on, ready to get after it. So.
Obviously 78-2 for their career, absolutely incredible. You know, as we've talked about, they were 2 goals away from being perfect. You know, they have the nation's longest, the eighth longest winning streak in the country. You know, all those things are nice, but I think what they're going to come back and remember is the good times they had together as a really strong senior class all 4 years that they were here, and some of them have been here since 6th grade. So there's a lot of memories out there.
The one thing that I'll look back on is enjoying with the memories and whatnot that on and off the field that I had with all the different guys, especially all the seniors. So I think looking back, that's what I'll remember the most.
I mean, for me, I think it was just learning how to play team lacrosse. I mean, we got guys that won some pretty prestigious awards this year, and I mean, for us all to hold together and play good, solid team lacrosse for the whole year, and that's been consistent through my Derryfield career. I think back on my sophomore year with guys like Lee Sipes, just being able to share the ball, bring up the guys behind you, build up the guys that are your age you're playing with. I think that's going to prove to be beneficial in college. I mean, college is really not an individual game anymore, so being able to play a style of lacrosse that we're going to be able to get a lot of people incorporated. I think that's something special to be said about what Hetler has done here at Derryfield and the rest of the coaches as well.
I think just most importantly, keeping a good relationship with Coach Hetler and your teammates. I think we have an amazing opportunity to be in such a small school where we see each other in the halls every day. We take some classes with each other, so making good, strong relationships and building that chemistry off the field so that you can translate it on the field and not, break down screaming at each other in the middle of a game. It's important to have those connections with each other.
I definitely think that the biggest thing I learned is how to be a part of something bigger than yourself. So these past 4 years have taught, my freshman year, they sure as hell humbled me out. And then from there, it was just a matter of growth and, understanding why it's so important to work in a team environment and get different perspectives. And I think that's what I'm going to take away the most from these past 4 years.
That Hetler's a great coach, and once our team puts their mind to something, we're able to compete with anybody. We're just looking to move the ball around, very good at sharing the ball, and we don't care who scores. We just want to win games, and that's what we're able to do.
I think as much as our team wins, I think what I took away from the most was the 2 times that our team lost. I think while of course it's important to have fun and enjoy victories, I think it's also imperative to look at your losses, look at your failures, and be able to take away from them and improve. And I think our 2 losses kind of exemplify, a team on top that's still vulnerable, and then the rest of those seasons the rest of the season, those 2 years kind of showed how we bounced back. We didn't let that kill our season or kill our moods about going to the championship. We completely bounced back, got back on the horse, and just kept riding. And I think in life, aside from lacrosse, just being able to know or how to take a failure and move on from it is super important. So that's something that'll stay with me. And also every time that we ran onto the field after winning the championship, that'll just stick in my head forever. It's a feeling that's really hard to explain, but you for sure.
I know that I'm going on to play again in a little bit, but for the guys who aren't playing and maybe won't ever touch a stick again, I'm sure it's a little harder. But I'm going to miss playing with this team and especially the guys in my class. But it's been a great experience, and I'm so thankful for it.
I mean, it's an incredibly successful group. I think the thing I take the most pride is all 7 of them are going to really, really good schools. You know, regardless of what happens in lacrosse in the future, they're setting themselves up really well. And so, you know, whenever kids talk to me about coming to Derryfield, we always talk first about you need to buy into the academic piece of it. I would never, you know, the lacrosse program is I think it's a really nice bonus and a great way to spend 4 years. But these guys all really bought into the hard work that goes into the classroom each day. And so I take that away.
I feel like with new kids coming in, that they got coming in, that I've heard about at least, they're gonna do just fine. Maybe not as well as this year. Maybe there's 1 or 2 more, but I feel like they'll be completely fine. Definitely will be in the hunt for 5th straight championship.
I think that's a good question. I think they'll be in the right spot to make a push. I think there are a couple pieces that, yeah, you might have to fill here and there, but looking at the players and what they can do, I think they'll be able to figure it out.
And yeah, I think we can, but it'll depend on you know, some guys stepping up into different roles. Kind of like this season. We have a really good senior class again next year. Maybe doesn't quite have the hype that these guys did, but I think you'll see a few of them get some offers to play in college next year. And I think this year's group left a lasting legacy that, you know, these guys really care about the program, and I think the guys underneath don't want to see it stop. You know, there will be some teams gunning for them next year. I think Wyndham returns a really strong core. Portsmouth they're always going to reload. Winnacunnet still has some guys there. You know, Hollis will be strong again. There's a ton of teams that they will have a target on their back again. But I think we can. I know we can do it if they put the effort into it.
Good.